I'll get into my
Okay,
car.
let's go, because I'm gonna miss all these weddings that I schlepped to Lakewood for.
Right.
Okay, so we're on the bottom of Rabban. You wanted to say something?
No, I wanted to. Kuf Nun Beis Amud Aleph. I don't know where we are, but remember we were talking Tisha B'Av about them not having shoes. So our case here, he's talking to the tzeduki, and the tzeduki says if you had a chamor, you had this and that, and he said he wasn't wearing any shoes of Yeshua ben Karcha. So the Maharsha says it must be Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av.
Tisha B'Av, right?
So that would be then you'd have then you'd have to go put on shoes to do Kiddush Levon. Otherwise, the way we go, you bench Kiddush Levon and go home and eat.
I hear. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll discuss maybe when we get to this Maisa. I think it's one of the most interesting Maisim in Shas. This story that you're talking about.
Where did you leave off last night?
On the bottom of Kuf Nun Aleph Amud Beis, we just finished the tzedukah Gemaras. Now we're talking about the elderly Gemaras and death. A lot of Simon. It's not for you. It's not for you tonight. This Gemaras. I mean, there's no kids being carried with bread, but it's get close to it. Yeah. Okay. Where did we leave off? Yeah, we by right? That's where we left off. Right? Yeah, is that what you have, parents?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Gemara says, right? So now there's a whole pasuk in Kehelis. The Gemara is going to darshan about what happens before death and these type of things. So the pasuk says, yeah, we have it.
Where are you starting from?
What is it? 6 lines up, right? 6, 2, 4, 7 lines up. 7 lines up from the bottom.
Okay. 151B4 for those who are using Art Scroll.
For those keeping score at home. Yeah, okay, so anyways. So right? Before it gets dark, before the shemesh and the or, before it gets dark. Zu padachas v'chaytim. That's talking about the padachas is the forehead, v'chaytim is the nose. Right? So what does that mean? That the forehead starts getting Rashi says that the forehead starts getting wrinkled, right? And right, v'yareach zu neshama. And the moon, that's talking about the neshama. And the kechavim, the stars, that's talking about the cheeks. Right? So meaning all these things start losing their beauty, I guess. And then the clouds come back after the rain. That's talking about somebody's eyesight, which after when the person cries, makes him lose his eyesight. Yes, Omar Shmuel, hi Dima, ad arba shnin hadra. When crying, so up to 40 years old, right? Then you're gonna get back the whatever you excrete with the tears, you're gonna get it back. But after 40 and on, if you cry after that, it's not gonna return. Omar of Nachman, hi koichla, right? So koichla, we actually had it a while ago. I think in the Refuah Gemaras, right? So that's some sort of eye, it's some sort of medicine for the eye, some cream for the eye. If you put it on before 40 years old, it's going to make your eyesight better. Even if you put it on with a real thick amount, like a thick applicator, right? Girdai means from the weavers, right? So we also discussed that before. So Akomi Maikim, all it's going to do is going to keep your eyesight. It's not going to improve your eyesight. Okay. My Kamashmalon. What's the chiddush of that? The Kamadalim Makuchla Tfeim Ali. That in a normal situation, the thicker the applicator, the better it's going to be for the eye. Meaning the more medicine you put on the eye, the better it's going to be. Right? Fine. Reb Chanina Shchiva Le Parte. right? So Reb Chanina lost his daughter. Shchiva means she slept, but it means Shchiva leibarte. He lost his daughter. Loyhava kabachi alei, and he didn't cry about for her. Amalei devisu. So his wife said to him, "Tarnagolta afukas mibesach. Did you just lose a chicken? Right? That you're not crying. What do you think? She just like anything else, a chicken?" So Amarla. So he told her, Tarti, should I cry for two things? Meaning I'm going to lose two things. Tichla v'ivara, I'm going to lose my child and my eyesight if I cry. So therefore, he had very much had a self-control and did not cry for that reason. Right? Because he held like Rabbi Yochanan B'Shem Rabbi Yotzei B'Ketzarta, Sheish Tuma is saying that there's 6 types of crying or tears. Shalosh Yafis and Shalosh Rosh, 3 are good for you and 3 are bad for you. Shal Ashon, if you get, this is a country one, if the smoke makes you tear, right? V'shal Bechi, and crying. Right, now we're on to the next Amud. V'shal Beis HaKisei, and going to the bathroom, meaning from stomach pain, those are rois, those are all bad for you. V'shal Sam, V'shal Schaik, V'shal Peres, but if it's from medication, and from Schaik is laughing, and Shal Peres, from fruit, I guess it must be like sharp fruits or something like that, then Yafa is that those tears are good for your eyes. Okay, fine. Now we go back to the Gemara about about what happens when people age. But Yom Sheyizu Shemrei Abayis Hisavsu. On the day that Sheyizu means that they'll shake, right? The Shemrei Abayis and Visavsu, and they're gonna start going bad. But Yom Sheyizu Shemrei Abayis Elo Aksalim Vatzlois. When the guards for the house, when they start shaking, that's talking about the sides, the ksalim and the tzlois, the ribs and the sides of the body. Why? Because that protects, right? That protects everything that's inside, right? Ubatul ha-toichanos, when it says that the grinders are batul, elushino, those are the teeth.
You skipped a line.
V'hisavsu anshe hechoyel.
Oh, I'm sorry. V'hisavsu anshe hechoyel elu shekayim, right? The anshe hechoyel, the soldiers will bend down. That's talking about the shekayim. That's the legs, because the legs are not going to work so well, right? And batul ha-toichanos elu shinayim, the grinders, which is the teeth, because the teeth stop. You lose the teeth, so you're not able to chop up your food. And the things that you look through in the arubas is a window, right? That's talking about the eyes, which is obviously the eyes is your window to see everything. Fine. So now Amrle Kesel Rabbi Shua ben Chananya. The Caesar said to Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, my time like Yisus Levei Avidan, why didn't you come to Bei Avidan? Right? We had this a while ago, right? Bei Avidan was this place that they how do you call it? They debated, right? They debated the goyim, right? So why didn't you come there? Amalei Tur Talag. Tur means a mountain. Talag is tough is interchangeable with the shin, right? So that's sheleg. That the mountain is full of snow. Sachroine glidin, right? And it's full of ice. Glid is ice. Kalboi loy navchin, and the dogs don't bark. Tachanani loy teichnen. And like we said, the grinders are not, things that grind don't grind. Beirav Amri and Adla Avidna Bechishna. That for what I'm not looking for, I'm looking for things that I didn't lose. Right? Right? Meaning he's bent over so much. These are all mashalim for that. He can hardly walk anymore. His teeth don't work. I mean, he's too old. And then he says, I'm looking for things. Looks like I'm looking for things that are lost because he's bent over. Looks like he's looking at the ground. And really, he's not looking for anything. He's just bent over. Yeah? Tanya. Rabbi Yosef Mikisma says, Tava trei mitlas. 2 is better than 3. What does that mean? Normally 3 is better than 2. Right? Because 2 feet is better than 3 feet, meaning with a cane. Yeah? Gershon, you can comment on that one, right? That's your department, right? Right? Vai is a chaval, like whoa, right? The one that goes and doesn't come back. Mahi, what does it mean? Amar Rav Chisda, Yankusa, it's talking about that you lose your strength, That's talking about when you're younger. Kiyasar of Dimi. Amar Yankusa Kalila Devarda. When you're young, it's like roses. Sivusa Kalila Dechelvi. And I don't know exactly what this is. Old age is like a kalila, like a bouquet of nettles. That's what ArtScroll says, right? ArtScroll, check out nettles. What is nettles?
Thorns.
I know he used to play for the Yankees. I know about that.
He was a big
That's all I know.
anti-Semit. He was a big anti-Semit. This guy.
Can't hear you.
He was a big anti-Semit.
I don't know why his thing's not muted. His name.
Greg Net.
Not here. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not hearing.
Okay.
Oh, now I got you.
All right. He was an anti-Semit, Greg Nettles. We don't want to talk about him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Nettles is a bad thing. Nettles
But
is a bad thing.
it's a crown of thorns. Nettles is thorns.
Oh, nettles is thorns. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. So old age is thorns. Okay. So Tana Mishmeidu Rav Meir, Doik bebechiv tishkach benigri. So if you chew well, then it's gonna nigri means your feet. It's gonna help your feet. Meaning if you chew a lot, then it's gonna help your digestion, and then you're going to be able to have strength. Right? We were full with bread, and we didn't see any bad. Amar Shmuel Rav Yehuda, Shinana. Right? We had that a lot. Shinana means a smart one. Shrei sakech v'ayalachmoch. Open up your literally mean your sack, but it means your mouth. And put in bread. Ad arvin shin mech lamali. Until you're 40 years old, food is cooked. From then on, it should be liquids, right? This is for all those in healthcare. That's why I guess there's always liquids being served in nursing homes. Yeah, fine. So I'm now this next Gemara, I don't know. This next Gemara is, I mean, I guess when you meet an apikoros, so you really have to talk stark to them. That's what comes out, because this is very stark. This is very, very strong conversation here. There was a Guzah. How do you say Guzah? He was not maimed. He was missing his. You're muted, Rabban.
Castrated.
They call him a eunuch.
He was a eunuch.
He was a eunuch. A eunuch.
He was castrated.
He was what?
Castrated.
Castrated, right? He didn't have the right? So he didn't have his private part. So mehachala karchina kamahavi. So what he told him is, how far is it from here to karchina? Now Rashi says, so karchina has to do, kerach means being bald. So Rabbi Shua ben Karcha, that was his name, right? So he was bald. He said, from here, how far is it to karchina? Making fun of him. Amalei tzeduki. Right? 1 second. It's from here to Gazanya. So Gazanya is a play off of the words of somebody who doesn't have his private part. Amalei Tzeduki, Barcha Karcha Ba'arba. A bald sheep, right? Only gets 4. It sells for 4 coins. Amalei Ikra Shlifa Detamne. But one that's castrated, it sells for 8, right? You get it for 8, right? So therefore, you're worth more. But he's making fun of him. Chazi the loy Masane. Then this is what Rabban was talking about when we started this year. Right? So I lost the place. That's just because I'm on my phone. It keeps vibrating and messages. Sorry. So Ikra. Shalifa Batami, so Chazal the Lamisani, he looked, he saw that he didn't have shoes. Amalei, so this Apikoros said to him, Ta'al Sus Melech, right? On a Melech rides on a horse. Ta'al Chamor ben Chayrin, somebody who's free, but he's not on the king's level, goes on a donkey. Udamanale Berigloi Bar Inish. And somebody who has shoes is considered a person. We had this before, the chashivas of shoes, right? That you should sell everything to have shoes. But the chafer b'kvir tav minei. But somebody, if you don't have a life, if you don't have shoes, that means you don't have a life. Right? So, I'm sorry, the loyov, if you don't have this and you don't have that, you have nothing. The chafer b'kvir tav minei. Then it's then a caver, somebody who has a great dog for him, is better than him. Amalei, Gaza, you maimed one, whatever, castrated one. Plus Amrli, you told me three things. Plus Shamat, you're going to hear three things from me. Hadas Panim Zaken, right? To have beauty of a face is a beard, right? Which obviously he couldn't have because he couldn't grow a beard. That's one of the simanim of somebody who doesn't have that. Simchas Leiv Isha, and bring the happy to your heart is having a wife, which you couldn't have either. Nachal Hashem Panim, and the Nachal of Hashem is having children. Baruch HaMakom Shebenacham Mikulam. Baruch HaMakom that you don't have any of these, which to me sounds like an extremely strong thing to tell him. Yeah. So Amar Lei, so he told him back, Karcha Mitzuyana, you're a bold person who likes to fight. Amar Lei, Ikra Shlifa Techecha. You're the one. You Ikra Shlifas means somebody who can't have kids. You're the one who started it, right? You're the one to give the teichacha first. So you brought it onto yourself. Fine. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what that Gemara is doing over here, but it's it's a pretty strong Gemara. Fine. Amar Rebbe Reb Shimon ben Chalafta, right? Rebbe told Shimon ben Chalafta, how come you didn't come to us on Yom Tif? The same way my fathers went to your fathers, right? So meaning because that's the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to go see your Rebbe on Yom Tif. So Amalei, Sloim Nasu Gavayim. He said the rocks are too high, right? Kroivim Nasu Chaykim. Anything that was close is now far, meaning he's too old to travel. Mishtayim Nasu Shalish, like we said before, from 2, now he has 3, meaning he has a cane. And Mason Shalom Babayis Batal, and the thing that causes peace in the house is Batal, right? That means that peace in the house means he's able to have relations with his wife, and he doesn't have that. That's not working either. So Mamela, he's just telling him he's just too old to go there. Fine. Then we go weiter in the pasuk. Dubru Losayim Pashuk, right? And the doors in the Losayim in the Shuk, the street, the doors of the street. I don't know exactly what that means. That's talking about the gates or not. Elum Nekav Shal Adam. Those are the openings of a person's body, right? That they get closed up when they stop working. When a person gets old. Bishval Kol Atchana, Bishvil Kurkavan Shein Etayfen. Then when the call, when the sound of the grinding stops, that's talking about the stomach. That doesn't. The digestion is the problem. Right? But Yokum Lakola Tzipor, and he gets up to the sound of birds. Shafilu Tzipor Manati Mishnase. A bird, even a bird making noise wakes him up. Yeah. Vishachu Kol B'nai Sashir Shafilu Kol Shonim B'Shoret Tames Lov Keshucha. And it gets, he can hardly hear people singing. Somebody got to be muted, or is that me?
My bad.
Even Kol Shonim B'Shoret Tames Lov Keshucha. Even hearing people singing sounds very low to him. Even Barzilai Galadi said to David, right? The story of Barzilai Galadi was that when David HaMelech was dealing with Avshalom, so Barzilai Galadi helped him out. So then when Avshalom, they finally got rid of him, and David was coming back to Yerushalayim, so he offered Barzilai to come and give him a chashva position, and Barzilai Galadi told him no way. Right? So he says, because he's too old. He says, I'm too old. Do I even know the difference between good and bad? So you see that the
We lost.
Meaning I'm not even going to be able to tell the difference what I'm eating, what I'm drinking. Right? So therefore, you see that you get you can't even tell the difference of things once there's old age, right? Fine. Mikan. So what do we leave from that? Hold on a second. I lost the place now. Totally lost the place. Going back to Mikan Shadei essentials kanim mishanis. Im yitim avdecha asher oichel v'asher eshta. If your Eved will be able to taste what he drinks or eats, mikanshis is saying shel zakenim misraftos, right? That the lips of zakenim they break, meaning and they can't taste things. Im eshma kol v'kol shon v'sharis mikanshis name shel zakenim mischavdos. That shows you that they can't hear the singing, so then it gets it becomes heavy, right? And therefore they can't hear. Amar Rab Barzili Galadi Shakra Hava. He was a liar. Now I don't get exactly why he was a liar here, right? That he Amsa Dave Be Rav Batishin V'Tartin Shnin. There was a lady that lived by Rav that was 92 years old, Vavas Taima Kidra, and she was able to taste pots. So what do you see? So you see that you did have a taste, and Barzilai said he didn't have a taste, right? Rava Amar Barzilai Galad Shutuf Bezima Hava. He was I don't want to say a pervert. How do you say it? He was just I guess pervert. He was into snooks or whatever it was, right? Somebody who deals with that a lot, who's Isaac and who's busy with it, is going to end up becoming very old. Which it says in Shulchan Aruch. Tani Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yossi Aimer Talmid Chacham Kozman Shemaskinim Chachman Netayses Alein Nitaysefes Alein. When a Talmid Chacham, the older he gets even smarter. Shenemar by Beishishim Chachma v'Erev Yam Tvuna. Older people get Chachma, and length of days gives you understanding. But Amei Oretz Kozman Shemaskinim Tishus Netayses Alein. But Amei Oretz, they get their tipshus makes them even their tipshus gets even worse when they get older. Shenemar Meiser Safal and Amonim B'Tam Keinim Yikach. Right? When he Meiser Safal and Amonim, the people that he trusts, he breaks up their words. B'Tam Keinim Yikach, and he takes away the reasoning from older people. Fine. Gamik Vaya Yiru, right? So then they're scared from high things. Right, a little mound of dirt looks to him like a mountain, right? And then there's scary things on the road. Right? So what does that mean? That when he's going on the way, he gets tired, he gets scared because of his old age. He gets scared that he's gonna trip. But you know, it's a shocky right? When the shkedim tree, how do you call it? Shkedim? It's an almond tree grows. That's talking about kiliboises. That's the hip, right? The stakel achagav agavois and his rear end, bottom, right? I don't get exactly what that is. Meaning, even Rashi says, even the grasshopper makes is a heavy load on him. Right, the tougher of Yainais do chemda, and if Yaina stops working, that's chemda. That's talking about his taiva for women. Rav Kahana have a pasuk sidro kamei the Rav. Rav Kahana was learning in front of Rav. Ki moto when he got to the pasuk lahaykra nogid ve'esnach. When he got to this pasuk, he nogid esnach. He said like he gave a kvetch, right? Amar Shmami no, Batale Chamde must be that Rav, he also is having old age problems. For Mamela, it's not working. His body's not working. Amar Kona Maitasiv, Kiu Amar Vayehi, when it says, this is a very important Gemara actually. What does it mean that when Hashem spoke, and it was, Du Isha, that's talking about a woman. Hu Tiva Vayamet Elu Banim, and he commanded, and that's what they did. That's Banim, right? Meaning these things cannot be. Nobody would get married if it wouldn't be the desire from a man to woman. Doesn't really make any sense. He's saying it has to be coming from Hashem. Hashem created that desire, and then children too. It doesn't make any sense for anybody to want children, right? It's the most unselfish thing in the world, right? So it has to be that it has to come from Hashem. But the point is that people that deny that this taiva from men to women, and they think, no, it's something that can be controlled. It's coming from Hashem, and there's nothing you're going to do about it, right? Tana, Isha Chamas Malaya, a woman is like a bottle full of disgusting things. And her mouth is full of dam. That's obviously talking about a private part. And even with all this disgusting things, everybody's running after the woman. Right? Fine. I use this sometimes when a guy comes to me and complains how irrational his wife is. So the first thing I'll tell him, you want to know about irrational? Let me tell you who's irrational. Okay? You got a man who, when he sees a woman undressed, he starts going out of his kalim. Why is that rational to be attracted to body parts? It makes absolutely no sense. Usually that stops the conversation. Meaning the men have irrational and women have irrational. Comes from Hashem, you ain't gonna change it. So join it. Right? Just realize it. And okay, that's my 2 cents for the night. Fine, bye. When a person goes to a Beit Olamai, to his nifter.
Yaakov, you don't have punja with you, do you?
No, why?
Because I don't think there's anybody underage here as a perfect night to give that example.
Oh, okay, that's good. I forgot about the young ones. Okay. Every tzaddik gets to live according to his covenant. A king goes into the city. When they all go into the city, the king and the servants all go together. But once it comes time to go to sleep, meaning everybody's seemingly the same way. But the bottom line is, when you get to the next world, when it comes time to go where to sleep, the better ones are going to get the better place to sleep. Right? Right? Young is hevel. When you're young, it's full of hevel. So stupidities that people do when they're young end up causing them to get their face get black later on. Right? Meaning, people are busy with stupidity. And when you get older, you realize it's all stupid. Right? This we had before. A worm to a mace is difficult like a needle in a person who's alive. His author is going to cause him pain. A person, this is a source, by the way, for Shiva, that a person's neshama is in Avelis all 7 days. That is going to be Avelis on him. And then it says Avelis for 7 days. So you see that it goes 7 days. Okay? Amar of Yehuda, Meishain la Menachem, and if a person's mace and he has nobody to be Menachem of, he left nobody to sit in Shiva. Also, Yud B'nei Adam, 10 people sit in there and should sit in the place where the person lived. Fine. So the person who died in the neighborhood of Rabbi Yehuda.
Excuse me. The Bezdin in Chabad, they set Shiva for the Rebbe. The Bezdin.
That's so. So that's mamash. Yeah. That's 10 people.
I know. I think I heard that the Bezdin. My Zevi went there. I think I was told the Bezdin sat for him. I don't know.
Interesting. So Kol Yoima. So what happened with this? The Kol Yoima have a Dover Rabbi Yehuda Bey Asara V'Yasmi B'Duchte. 10 people. Rabbi Yehuda arranged that 10 people should be sitting in his place. He came to a dream to Rabbi Yehuda. You should have Yishuv Adas because you caused me, a lot to be calm. The mace will hear everything until it's fully covered with dirt. One says it's till the grave is totally covered, and one says until the basar is ruined.
How do you know when the flesh decomposes? How are you supposed to know that?
I don't know. So I guess maybe you shouldn't talk bad about any. I don't know.
I'm just saying, forever.
Look, I don't know. I'm not sure. How would you know? It's a good question. Don't know. Fine. So talking about Ruach Tashav Elokim Asher Nitna Tnalanu Kamosh Nitna Loch B'Tayra Af Ata B'Tayra, meaning we're saying that you give it back to Hashem, your ruach, your neshama, the way it was given to you, right? Just it was given to you betara, af ata betara. So you have to make sure also that you do tshuva before you die, right? So that it goes back to betara. Well, mashal ma'il supposed to be done. The mashal to a king shechalak big day malchus lavodav, that he gave clothing, nice clothing to all his servants. Tikkin sheben. The smart ones always kept it folded it nicely and kept it in a box. They went and did their work in the clothing. A few days later, the king wanted back his clothing. The smart ones gave it back when they were all in good condition. They gave it back when they were dirty. Because he was very happy with the smart people, and he was very upset at the stupid people. Give him put them in my storage house, right? Meaning the people, and it's a good thing. The shalom, and they should go home with peace, and they're good. You gotta give it into the laundry. Put them in jail because they didn't treat the king's clothing properly. That's what we say by Leviathan. By Tzadikim, Hashem is saying good things. There's no peace, Hashem says, and on the neshamas he says, now, kafakela is a heavy thing. A kafakela literally means like a slingshot. Basically, it's sort of like the neshama, the bouncing around in the shemayim and all that type of thing. Fine. Okay, right. The Tanya Rebbe Lazar, the neshamas of tzadikim gets hidden under the kisei kavod. So that's they're wrapped in the wrapping of life, right? And the Rishayim's nefesh goes, they're always locked up. There's a malach on either side of the world, and they throw the neshamas back to each other. Right? So that's what they say, that after the body, when neshama's nifter, so it's bouncing around. Yeah. What about the people that are not Rishayim, not Tzadikim? If I would have died, I wouldn't have been able to tell this to you, because nobody else knew this information. The Duma and they're given over to some sort of malach called Duma. So some end up with peace, resting, and some don't. I see them in Tzadikim. Tzadikim are going to end up being dirt. They're going to end up being offer the way they were. There were people, now there's a strange story. There were these diggers that were digging on Rav Nachman's land. So they obviously dug up the caver. He made a noise. Also, they came and told Rav Nachman, that some guy made a noise. Also, he went and said, "Who are you?" You're a tzaddik, but didn't he say that? Didn't Rav say you're going back to becoming dirt? Mari, and he said, "Who is Mari?" I don't know who he is. But forget about that. If you don't trust Mari, but it's a pasuk. It's going to return the way it was. You read Kehelis, you might have read Kehelis, so you didn't read Mishlei. Because in Mishlei it says, Verekev Atzmais Kina. Decaying from bones comes from kina, from jealousy. Anybody who has jealousy in his heart, his bones rot. If he doesn't have kina in his heart, he does not. They don't rot. Right? So he felt the Gashashay, so then he felt the body. He actually felt meaning it was not it was real. The meat, the flesh was real. Amalei, Laikum, get up. Laikum, the base. Come to my house. Since your body is whole, why don't you come to my house? Amalei, Golas Adaita, the feeling of Nevi'ah, Karisa. Now I could see in you that you never even read Nevi'ah. Tichsiv, Yadatim ki ani Hashem b'fitzei es kirasim, and recognize that when I open, Hashem says, when I open your kvarim, Amalei v'aksiv ki offer atav el offer tashuv. But it says you're dirt and you're gonna return. Meaning he was saying that only Hashem could take you out of the grave. But then he said back there, but it said you're gonna go back to dirt. Amalei ushach achas chaydim tiyas amesin. That's an hour before tiyas amesin. Yeah. Okay.
Just want to add.
We'll stop here. You go ahead.
I just want to add my Rabbi.
Yeah, go ahead.
My second cousin is a Rav in Tzahal, and when they gave back Gaza, so they had to dig up the Jewish graves because our cousins would desecrate the graves. So these their bones wrapped in towels wrapped around the bones. They dug up one young girl, and she was pristine, like she just went down to take a nap. She looked exactly she looked like taking a nap. Her body was not. This was many years she was in the grave. So they had to dig up the body, and they had to rebury it. And he went to him. The doctor said shiva when the body's reburied. So he went and told the parents about this situation, and they were very. It was a big nechama for them that this little girl was apparently some kind of a tzadikis, and the body many years later had not degenerated even a drop.
That's pretty wild.
He himself was very taken by it.
How this is happening? Wow.
When they had to dig up the bodies from Gaza.
Fascinating.
It wasn't. He was thinking he actually saw himself.
I hear. Wow.
Yaakov. Did either Rebbe was paranoid that people are trying to kill him, or he let the guy cook in his house? No, from this Gemara.
Why are you saying that?
Because either she was cooking the food when she tasted it, or she was tasting it to make sure it's not poison if he didn't allow her to cook.
It doesn't say she was a guy.
It says, what did it say?
You're talking about Aleph. I didn't copy. You're talking about Aleph.
Yeah.
I hear.
It said she was a tzeduki, no?
No.
No, it doesn't say no. She wasn't a tzeduki. It was an old lady. I didn't say.
I thought it said it sounded like she was a servant or something.
So?
At 92, she's still...
We're supporting that. She had earache.
All right, I got to hang up because I got to go in. All right. Have a good night, fellas.
Mazel tov, mazel
tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Enjoy. She her earache look when coils.
Right.
Yeah. Earache look when coil. Very good. He's working on BS Goyle, that Nebuch, the poor lady.
Right.
So her son-in-law could get that new Borsalino.